After the flood, the earth breathed again. The waters had receded. The skies had cleared. Judgment had passed. Humanity stepped forward into a quiet, waiting world. They moved as one people, one voice, one shared understanding. Every word landed exactly as intended. Every command was received without confusion. There were no translators, no misunderstandings, no barriers between thought and action. For the first time since judgment, the world felt whole. But unity can be an illusion, and silence often hides ambition. Scripture tells us, now the whole earth had one language and the same words. Genesis 11:1. And with one language came one shared imagination. They traveled together until they found a place to stop, a wide land, a flat plain, a place with room to grow and room to settle. Wandering requires trust. Settling offers control. Here they could build something permanent, something lasting, something unmistakably theirs. Someone spoke an ideal aloud. It didn't sound dangerous. It didn't sound rebellious. It sounded reasonable. Others repeated it, not because they questioned it, but because it felt right. Agreement spread faster than wisdom. No one asked why. No one asked who this was for. Only what comes next. And the words were simple. Let us build. Not to honor God. Not to remember judgment. Not to give thanks for survival, but to secure themselves against Him. They replaced stone with brick, what God had formed naturally. Humanity now manufactured, brick by brick, kiln by kiln. Innovation replaced dependence. Technology accelerated what pride had already begun. This was more than construction. It was confidence taking shape. The tower began to rise, higher than any structure before it, not as worship, but as a statement, a declaration carved into the skyline. We will reach heaven on our own terms. Scripture records their words plainly. Let us make a name for ourselves. Genesis 11:4. Not God's name, their own. The tower was not reaching for heaven. It was pushing God out of the picture. Then Scripture says something unsettling, something easy to miss if we read too quickly. God did not shout from heaven. He did not send fire. He did not strike the tower down. Instead, He came down, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, not because the tower was tall, but because their hearts were. This was not panic. This was inspection. God saw what they were building, and more importantly, why. He saw a unity untethered from humility, power without reverence, togetherness without submission. History shows us what happens when humanity unites without God, and God in mercy intervened, but not in the way anyone expected. God did not destroy the tower. He destroyed what made it possible. Words fractured, mid-sentence, meaning collapsed. Instructions dissolved into noise. Familiar voices became foreign sounds. The very tool that enabled unity, language, failed them. The punishment wasn't rubble. It was confusion, so that they may not understand one another's speech. Genesis 11:7. Hands still worked, but coordination vanished. The tower still stood, but progress died. Without understanding, momentum collapsed. Without humility, unity shattered. Confidence turned into frustration. Frustration into fear. Families gathered only those they could still understand. Communities broke apart along the lines of language. They didn't leave because they wanted to. They left because they had to. They scattered across the earth, east and west, north and south. Nations were born not from vision, but from division. The place was called Babel, because there humanity lost its voice. But Babel was not the end. It was a warning, a pattern written into history. Every empire that glorifies itself, every system built without humility, every civilization that says we will secure our future without God, is Babel reborn. The structures change. The language evolves. The towers look different. But the heart remains the same. Yet God does not abandon humanity to confusion forever. Babel is not the final word. Scripture moves forward, and one day God would undo Babel. Not with force, but with grace. At Pentecost, languages returned, not erased, not made uniform, but understood. Different tongues, one message, not through pride, but through surrender. Not through assent, but through the Spirit descending. What humanity fractured, God restored. By His Spirit, God is not threatened by human greatness, but He will always oppose greatness that forgets. The question Babel leaves us with is not ancient. It is present. Are we building upward, trying to reach heaven on our own terms, or are we bowing downward, acknowledging that all wisdom, unity, and meaning begin with God? Scripture answers plainly. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. The Tower of Babel still stands, not in ruins, but in every human heart that trusts itself more than God. And the choice remains. Every generation must answer it. Are we building upward or bowing down?